Y'all have it?
I'm seeing 2042, is that in there?
What is it?
The bottom, it says total cost, total estimated cost 204.7.
What area are you on?
On the associated process. Is it supposed to be 238 or 204?
Oh, so the project cost is 204.7, and the bonds want to exceed what Wilson, the final number of shares?
Not to exceed 238 million.
238 million? Okay. Yeah, so you got a range there. So if you look at attachment B, you see the equipment that's going to be purchased. They pretty much tear down the entire plant, taking out all the old equipment and then putting in new state-of-the-art equipment where you get more efficiency and faster run and less spoilage with the newer equipment. So there's benefit there, and of course as the market goes, they ebb and flow of the global toilet market, but you don't think about that. We think of compared to soybeans and other things. That's where, you know, they either got to upgrade, get more efficient, more effective, or they just lose to their competition. Did y'all get a chance to look at attachment B? Mm-hmm.
I don't have any more questions.
Any more questions? Take your time.
No.
When you get to the part where you do your bidding, you would be willing to consider Clayton County companies and make sure they get due notice of the project so they can bid on them if they're qualified?
I'd have to have a conversation with our engineering team who is working on that. I've not been part of the discussion for the bidding process, but I will ask whether or not we have any local Clayton County associates working on that facility.
Any more questions, comments, thoughts?
No questions.
Hearing none. Motion to approve the application and inducement resolution for the Toto USAE plant retention and expansion project. Make it a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Dr. Hines, second by Mr. Burton. All those in favor? Aye. Well, I can't vote on it. Still think I'm voting. So we have a aye or nay?
I should go count votes.
Gotta count the votes. Oh. Okay.
Nay?
No. So it's unanimous. Okay. Good deal.
Everybody speaks at once. I
Yeah.
speak hoarse voices.
That's how those things go. Oh, no. Okay, well, good. Board, thank you. The Toto application and inducement resolution is passed.
Hey, before we move on, can we get a tour of that facility?
It's no.
Before it's torn down?
I don't see why not. I mean,
Yeah, I'm back and forth. It's a very interesting facility.
Larry, you've been to the facility.
Yes.
And
yes.
I think I gave you the tour of the
Yes, you
facility,
did.
right?
Yeah.
So I'd be very happy, you know it.
Okay.
I'd be happy to show anyone what it looks like on the
Okay,
inside
so-
today.
Good. What we'll do is call and get some dates from the board members, and we'll go down and visit it. It's an interesting facility. And
I'm gonna say our toilet man.
big boys.
The manufacturing process for a toilet is a very interesting process. We use kale and clays from just outside of Sandersville, Georgia.
Yeah.
We bring ball clays in from Nashville, Tennessee. We use local Clayton County water, and we actually produce those products, and we sell them around the United States and throughout South America and Central America. So we've been very successful in growing our business in the United States. We want to have the opportunity to continue our presence in Clayton County.
Yes.
We like Clayton County. We like our employees in Clayton County. We like the support we received in the past from Clayton County. We are going to continue to be, hopefully, a good corporate citizen for another 30 years in Clayton County.
Quite a nice facility. You're gonna have a lot of solar panels.
Okay, good deal. Next item on the agenda. Our VOC Development Authority Clayton County Social Event. Dr. Brady, any updates there?
Still
dating.
We're still sending out our, when it's Valentine's. I think that we're almost there. I've been able to secure 2. Now that's a lot. So I got 3. I got 2 poets here. So 3 to go. Give me a little time, Bob. I think that we'll maybe in another week or so. Maybe some direct calls.
Excellent. Well, we'll just take a look when you're ready, Paul.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Okay, the next item on the new business. Before we go there, you all, and we're done with Toto, just want to say congratulations.
It's been going on for
Unless y'all, you just want to sit and enjoy all of it.
And I promise you, we will build lots and lots of toilets and continue to have success here in Clayton County. That is our goal. So thank you so much for your support. I appreciate it very deeply.
Under new business, we have to let the chair, our past chair, Ms. Regina DeLoach, who served us very well. And Mr. Lewis sort of made history, being the first African-American female to head up our development authority. Congratulations and thank you. But her time expired on the board and she was replaced, so guess what we have to do? We got to replace her here. So, and on behalf of the board, I kind of made some phone calls and asked who was interested in having a certain job. But of course, you guys can nominate who you want and vote for who you want. I did ask our co-chair, would he step up to the chair position, Randy Burton. Asked Mr. Christmas, would he step up into the co-chair position. We have the treasury position already in place. So I'm just asking you guys to consider that, or if that's not a good opportunity, or you got someone else you'd like to see serving those 2 positions, it's your prerogative as board. So can we do 2 or take 1 at a time?
We'll start with your chair.
Okay.
That's where you have a vacancy at the moment, so.
Okay.
Start with nominations for the chair.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you all been on the board the same amount of time?
I've been here for 3 years,
So you could get voted off?
in 2 more years.
2 more years?
Oh, this is my second.
He been renewed.
I started in COVID. And,
So you get another year, right? The athlete?
well,
The COVID year?
get a red
Your
shirt.
initial term, what's your initial term, did it like unexpired term or something, and then you
Yeah,
have
it
a full
was,
term?
I was filling in for somebody to,
Yeah, I think your first term was a partial term, and then he's been.
I think my term runs through like March of 25. I came in with, I think I came in the same time as you did.
So I think y'all came in about the same time.
I think it was.
I got voted off and then got voted back
Go to
on.
bed. Oh, that's right.
For a long time because of the, the cousins were meeting on virtually.
Well, I'll nominate Dr. Brady for chair.
Okay. So we have 2 nominations from Dr. Brady for chair and Randy Burton. So all those in favor of Dr. Harrison to be chair, raise your hand. 3. All those in favor? Okay. Dr. Hines, all those in favor of Randy Burton being chair? Well, we got 3.
Okay, I'm gonna vote for him.
So that's 4, 5. And you voting for Dr. Harrison as well?
No.
Well, I said, wait, let's start over. All in favor of Dr. Brady being chair, raise your
Keep
hand.
them up, so we can.
Raise your hand and keep them up. Okay? Dr. Brady as chair. Okay, we got 4. All those in favor of Randy Burton being chair, raise your hand.
Okay.
I want to record as abstaining.
What that happen?
He's abstaining.
Understand? Okay, so we don't have a majority.
Less than an hour, so.
We don't have a majority, so it doesn't carry. So can we move on to co-chair? Or we need to stay?
I thought this for,
Not enough to hurry up.
It's a 9-person board that has 5 or more to carry. Okay?
Randy already holds the office of vice chair. He was elected as vice chair.
Yes.
But I thought we were going to read.
If Randy were appointed as chair, then there becomes a vacancy for vice chair. And so we need to elect someone as vice chair.
Okay, so we just got to carry this to the next meeting until we get more board members here. Okay, so we don't have a chair, all right? So we'll hold that over till our next meeting. All right? Next item on the agenda, item number 7, DCAA Hallmark AM Best Letter. Ms. Youngblood?
So this is just a matter of information for the board members. We received a letter that you see in tab 7. Hallmark is the holder of the authority's general liability umbrella policy, and their financial rating has been downgraded. Has nothing to do with the development authority. That's just who your current general liability coverage is with. As a result, your broker has recommended replacing that coverage. They are actively seeking a new carrier. However, your existing policy expires August 9th, which is not that far away, so they may not be able to identify a new carrier and replace that coverage. You may have to end up replacing coverage when this policy expires in August. Good news is you have no pending claims. There are no as yet unmade claims of which I'm aware. Director Benson has confirmed he is not aware of any, so there's really not a great deal of risk to the authority at this point, but I wanted to make you aware of that issue. Really good. Dr. Hines.
Do we have a record of the processes that have been used to identify coverage carriers in the past?
You have an insurance broker, and they market and look for carriers, and they present the quotes that they obtain, and then the authority approves that. So presumably at the next meeting, because this policy expires in August, so what we typically see is in July when you vote on the renewal or change, whatever's coming in your next year's coverage.
So,
But you have a broker that's out there.
so would it be fair to say that that would be an item for which we would have some form of recommendation at our next meeting?
Yeah, the brokers are actively seeking some, new quotes, because there's so little time left on this policy. The odds of getting a quote for a policy in place for 4 weeks is not real high, so they're focusing on having a recommendation for you to go into effect when your existing policy expires in August. Hallmark they're not out of business, they're still out there, but because of the increased risk, it was the recommendation of the broker that you see new coverage when this policy expires. So I just wanted to make you all aware of that issue.
But again, it's fair to say that there either be a recommendation or an update in this report at our next meeting.
Yes, yes, and I confirmed with the broker that they are actively working on it, and that they understand this time frame.
Next item, item number 8, is low temp industries restructuring. Ms. Youngblood? That's behind tab number 8.
So low temp, again, is another long-standing Clayton County business. There are outstanding bonds that they used to build their latest facility. Part of the restructuring is, and we've had some of these conversations as well, I think Barbara Casey is buying out Ben Casey.
Yeah, it's, this company has been in Clayton County since 1945. And they make pantry cabinets and countertops for the fast food industry. And basically the brother is selling out to his sisters, which means names got to change on all the documents. So that's pretty much it. There's not a whole lot of extra work got to be done at the plant. We do work with LTID. They're very active in the county and hiring people from the county. I know we had some training classes and they were there with construction ready and they actually hired the Clayton County people who was in the class to work at the plant. So it's just once again another opportunity to retain and work with an existing company that hired and promote Clayton County.
Bruce McCall was bond counsel on the bond transaction, which was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
I think it was about 5 years ago. He was the bond counsel on that transaction. Their attorney has confirmed today that they have retained him again to work on this project, so we should have documents for approval at the next meeting. Again, just wanted to give you sort of a heads up that's going on.
Any questions on low temp? All right, next up, small business update by Ms. Sydney Elise Burgett.
I apologize, I need to set up my presentation. Please give me a moment, but it wouldn't hurt you. You can't see? If you please make sure you can see the presentation, there's a lot of great information here. So I don't know if you want to shift or how you want to do it. well as a small business conference. And I'll go into detail of each activity in a little bit. So first, our small business program outreach is to really connect with our small businesses. Understand, hey, what's going on? How are you guys doing? What are your needs and challenges? How can we best serve you? We want to gather this data to get information about what they're doing. So one of the ways that we're doing this is by hosting listening sessions. And we're going to host listening sessions all across the 4 districts. We want to make sure to hit each of the districts and everywhere in Clayton County, because there's small businesses everywhere. So actually, the first event is coming up this Saturday in District 4. It's going to be at the Clayton County Police Department. Currently, we already have 27 small businesses signed up. We kind of wanted to make it a bit small, as this event will focus on discussion, understanding what they need, as well as we'll be connecting them with local resources. So we've invited Office of Economic Development, along with the Chamber of Commerce to come, and the Small Business Development Center to come to share the many great resources that are available to our small businesses in the community. And again, so that one's coming up. The next one is going to be July 20th. That's District 1, and right where we stand, that's what that one will be. July 2nd will be at the Flint River Community Center, and August 5th will be at the Northwest Branch Riverdale Library. So we've definitely invited the commissioners to come out and to, just be a part of our small business listening session. So just, welcome them and, share their support for the small businesses in their district, but in the community as a whole. So we're excited about that. The next thing that we're actively working on is the Small Business Conference. So we have a tentative, so as I mentioned before, we're doing this outreach. So not only is that data to help us understand the needs and concerns of our small businesses and how we can best help them, as well as use it as information to create programs and initiatives to support their growth, we also want to take that information and understand, okay, this is what you're having trouble on, this is what you need help on, let's help you immediately. Well, not super immediately, but at least in November. And at the conference, what we'll be doing is, with that data we collect, we will be tailoring the workshops, the speakers, and all the sessions to incorporate some of the high needs and challenges that our small businesses are currently facing. And we're planning for this to be, like I said, November 2nd. That's our tentative date. We're still working to secure the location. We wanted to do the Morrow Center. We really wanted to make sure to have the conference in the county, and it's going to be a full day conference, 8 to 4, and I'll go into the session details. So just a general overview, because as our executive director knows, I can go very detailed and very long, but I just want to give you an overview of what's going on. So at the Small Business Conference, we'll have a keynote speaker, we'll have a business owner panel, like just a panel of business owners, sharing their experiences, and then we'll have multiple workshops. We'll have a workshop in the morning and a workshop in the afternoon, and that will focus on those key business topics. Additionally, we'll make sure that we invite local businesses and professionals like people with taxes, accountants, lawyers to come, and as well as, of course, always we're working with our partners, with the Office of Economic Development and Chamber. They will come, the procurement, just everyone who deals with small business, especially within our local government realm. We want them to be there. So we're actively working on this and getting this done. Okay? And the timeline, now, this, I don't bore you with all the details. Like I said, I can be very detailed into logistics. But the timeline is basically this. So in June and July, which we're currently in, we're hosting our small business listening sessions. Then we are, focusing on leveraging our partners, so Chamber of Commerce, Office of Economic Development, Procurement Center, Clayton County, to help market the event. We're identifying, contacting, and securing those speakers. And one thing I forgot to mention, we do have a proposal from the Morrow Center, and unfortunately, there were some issues with the contract that I need them to change before I present it to you. So as soon as I get that, definitely want to get that over to you guys. Hopefully we can do maybe a special call meeting and go ahead and secure that proposal. If, of course, whatever is pleasure of the board. But just a note on that, because you really want to make sure that's secured before we start advertising a save the date flyer. So like I said, host small business sessions, leverage our partners to market, and then also identifying and contacting and securing speakers. I've talked to several people who have expressed interest about speaking and being a part of it. So if you guys know anyone, I'll have more detailed information about the specific topics. Really appreciate your help and leverage your network. Okay, August, ordering and printing those marketing materials, recruiting volunteers for the event, of course, continue to promote it. September, solicit sponsorships for the event. We want to have some sponsorships for some of the goodies and giveaways. So we definitely, and it just won't be in September. This is, of course, something we'll work on in August and before, but just an extra bullet point. Send out reminders and updates to our speakers, making sure that, hey, it's coming up, are you still going to be available? And then definitely want to conduct an event run through, make sure we understand, okay, how's the flow of the space, how's this going to go, et cetera, et cetera. And then in October and November's kind of cut off, again, even more promotion, just so blasting all the small business owners. Oh, and speaking of which, something I forgot to add is that with these listening sessions, it's also an opportunity to collect small businesses' information, their name, their contact, their business. So when we are promoting, we have a robust listserv of the businesses in our community. And then, of course, we're going to put together the boring stuff, put together the sponsored items, doing that stuff, sending out reminders to attendees. So that's just some of the activities and things that we'll be doing on our timeline. So next steps, of course, finalizing the event date and location. Again, once I get the corrected version of the proposal, definitely be sending that out to you guys to look over. Complete the save the date flyer. Once we have a confirmed location and date, we'll complete the flyer. And I gotta say, shout out to this Office of Economic Development team, Brandon. I've been working very closely with their marketing person, and he has done an excellent job. He actually designed our flyer. And actually, you can see everyone has a copy of the flyer in the binder as well. And then again, as I mentioned, identify, contact, and secure speakers for the event. So now when I was thinking about how we are going to invest in our small businesses, I started really thinking about how do we invest in our community as a whole. And this led me to pull on to my training as a scientist and understanding how to create sustainable ecosystems and communities. And it allowed me to pull on information from my degree in public policy from Georgia Tech and understanding, complex problems and how to solve them and how to solve them using economic development solutions. And finally, with all my classes that I've currently been taking I'm so close to finishing my Georgia Economic Development certification, it made me really think, how do we move forward? How do we continue not just to invest in our businesses, but invest in the community as a whole? And this is where it came to an investment strategy, a way to move forward for development. And this is what I've been thinking about and trying to figure this out. So the vision, as everyone's talking about, we want a work, live, and play community. Everyone's talking about it. We want this, we want this, we want this. But how do we get there? So we have to have a strategy. And I'm very much a strategist. So I came up with this strategy called Invest in Clayton. So our name is Invest Clayton. But I think it's time for us to invest in Clayton.